Amid the Pawar versus Pawar battle, people have forgotten another old political battle, which is the Shiv Sena versus Shiv Sena battle. In June, the Supreme Court issued notice to Assembly Speaker Rahul Narvekar after the Uddhav faction accused the Speaker of deliberately delaying the decision of the disqualification of the rebel MLAs. Besides, the Supreme Court also said it would hear the Shiv Sena name and symbol case after it wraps up with the plea challenging the abrogation of Article 370. If the decision of the Speaker goes against the Chief Minister and if the Supreme Court reverses Election Commission of India's decision, then what is going to be the future of Chief Minister Eknath Shinde? To discuss this, we spoke to senior journalist and political analyst Sanjay Jog, who has been covering Maharashtra politics for the last 3 decades now. Let's get into the interview, but before that, if you're watching this on Facebook, do like our page, and if you're watching this on YouTube, do subscribe to HW News English. Thank you very much, Sanjay sir, for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Sir, what do you think will be the future of Chief Minister Eknath Shinde if the decision of the 16 MLAs goes against him and if they are disqualified? Because Chief Minister Eknath Shinde is one of those MLAs.
Yeah, Shashank, let's before arriving at any kind of a conclusion, let me give you a little backgrounder on which this case is developing. Just yesterday, we spoke to Speaker. A couple of journalists were there at the Vidhan Bhavan. Already the session is not on, but he keeps on coming to his office. So we took an opportunity to meet him, and the obvious question was, when is he going to take up the disqualification proceedings, which both the sides, means Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray Shivsena as well as Eknath Shinde Shivsena are interested to see that it. I mean he decides, or what is known as he adjudicates the matter. So when we asked, he said, first of all the necessary political, legal, technical issues are being discussed internally, means within the secretariat. He is also consulting the lawyers which are affiliated to the secretariat. So he has yet to arrive at a scenario wherein he can actually kickstart the proceedings. So the A part is that even though Shivsena Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray has already appealed to the Supreme Court, pleading that even though you have given an order asking Speaker to take the necessary call in a reasonable time, quote unquote. So for that, Speaker has already clarified reasonable time means no specific time has been mentioned, but considering the necessary formalities to be completed, from that perspective, it is going to be a reasonable time. And the second very interesting sentence, he said that my all attempt will be not to have any injustice on any party. So now here start your question about what is the fate of Mr. Eknath Shinde. I am also aware that readers and viewers must be aware that Eknath Shinde is one of the 16 MLAs who have been served the disqualification basically by the Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray faction. What's now happening? What are the probabilities? Just to tell you, the readers and viewers, I have also covered similar proceedings when Mr. Arun Gujarati was the Speaker of the Assembly, when some of the Congress MLAs had voted against the no confidence motion, means not in favor, in fact. The it was regarding the Vilas Rao Deshmukh led government, when some of the MLAs sided with the opposition and cast their vote in their support, means in support of no confidence. So that led to a disqualification. It took very interesting time. Just to tell you, the reader and the viewer, it is not just a matter ki if Speaker is being told to take a call, he will immediately sit in his office and sign the matter. It's not so. It's like a judicial process. Means if at all you are an affected party, both the affected parties are supposed to submit their affidavit. There will be counter affidavit. There will be hearing. there will be postponement of hearing. It is going to be a long drawn process. So I can't, and nobody is known what is going to be the fate of Eknath Shinde. But what could be the probabilities that we will discuss as a journalist? A, if at all Mr. Speaker decides that whatever Shinde and 15 others have done is a breach of stipulated assembly rules, procedures, 10 schedule, and whatnot, other whatever the legal and judicial that he will consider and constitutional matters, then A, he may be disqualified along with the 15. Then the entire government, whether the survival will be at the stake, I don't think so, because they have got a sufficient number with Ajit Pawar joining them. Secondly, if Speaker, considering all the judicial, technical, legislative matters, rules, that they are not to be disqualified. In fact, Uddhav Thackerays disqualification plea rejected, stands rejected. Then Mr. Shinde will continue. So, just to tell you interestingly, yesterday and day before yesterday, in some different function, Shinde, hit the, what we can say, a chord very nicely, in the sense saying that, he was in fact a very satire, went into a satire mode. He said, I've been reading, I've been watching the news about whether Eknath Shinde will be, removed as the chief minister, whether he faces the disqualification. He said, first of all, I'm enjoying this news. Secondly, he is in the firm saddle. That's what the word he used. And the thirdly, he said he is fully prepared to take whatever happens in his side or against. So, Shashank, to be put you this thing in a right perspective, A, right now the proceedings have yet to begin. Speaker is still studying along with his secretariat and his legal team how to proceed. Secondly, both the parties, means Uddhav Thackeray's faction as well as Eknath Shinde, the Shiv Sena, are in the midst of preparing the necessary legal papers and legal ground. And the third, very interestingly, putting it all together, what is going to be happening is whether Speaker will be compelled or forced or under pressure to convene this hearing immediately, or whether the delay is being caused is again he will be targeted. That is a matter of we press and media to discuss about, but that is not yet the stage. Shiv Sena, Uddhav Thackeray has taken serious objections about quote unquote alleged delays in taking up the matter. But as you are saying, there is another petition, the Supreme Court, where the counter petition has been filed by Uddhav Thackeray because all those 370 abrogation case and couple of other matters are on. So the Supreme Court is going to hear the matter in few days. So what is happening at the level of Supreme Court, that is to be also what. One more thing that I should mention here is that, after speaking to a couple of retired, the secretaries and those who had worked in the legislature and aware of all the necessary stipulated rules and norms, to whom I have been talking to informally, what they are saying is that, interestingly, when this matter was discussed earlier, when the Supreme Court gave this judgment that way in favor of the Shinde-led faction, and that way the government has survived. But very interestingly, they have said the election commission, that matter about awarding the symbol and the actual name, they said that is the matter that has already been decided. So, Shashank, I don't think, after talking to a couple of legal experts and those, as I told you, retired, the officials from the legislative secretariat, I don't think the Supreme Court will again take up the matter with regard to this symbol and the party name. I think, but still, if at all it will be discussed and debated or fought at the level of the Supreme Court, that everybody has to give a look. As of now, at least we are not aware whether this issue will be coming up in the ensuing, hearing that is pertaining to why Speaker is delaying the disqualification proceeding. I think till that we have to watch and wait, and till that, of course, we have to keep on keeping an eye about how these both factions are going to be preparing for the ensuing legal battle.
Sanjay sir, so what you are saying here is that the Supreme Court cannot ensure that the Speaker fast tracks his decision or he makes his decision faster. So nothing of that sort can happen.
Shashank, that's what I'm saying. This is a matter of a legal and judicial proceedings where I think it will be quite unfair to talk about us. But after, putting in so many years of, this thing, writing on the political thing, generally, you know, as the three major executive, judicial, and legislature, three wings of the democracy are concerned, generally, I don't think judiciary will definitely come into this way and asking the speaker, because there are a couple of other instances earlier also where this kind of a tug of war between two branches of the democracy are on. In the recent case also there was, I mean, when interestingly, when this previous government has disqualified or suspended 12 BJP legislators, in matter went to the court, and initially they had decided, if at all Supreme Court favors in gives a order in their favor, we should not accept it. But ultimately it did not happen. The what we can say, unfortunate a fight or a tussle between judiciary and legislature was that way avoided. So Shashank, I think it won't be fair to make any kind of a comment on what the Supreme Court will take a call on this kind of a matter at this point in time.
So it is safe to say that this decision can go up to the next Maharashtra Assembly elections or Lok Sabha elections, at
That's
least till the
what
Lok Sabha elections.
Shashank, that is the discussion which is going on in the political circle of Maharashtra. Each party, even though now the Sharad Pawar led party has been divided, although they claim that it's not divided. We have, I mean, Ajit Pawar always claims that I have taken a decision to just join the government, basically in the larger interest of the development of their own constituencies as well as for the state. That party, I mean, two factions of NCP or two factions of Shiv Sena or even BJP and Congress, I mean, everybody at the back of mind are discussing that reasonable time is when, and whether the decision is expected before the Lok Sabha and Assembly elections, or whether it will caught into that legal and judicial proceedings that everybody has to guess. I mean, at this point in time, nobody can make any concrete and confirmed kind of a statement if this judgment will come before that. I think we'll have to definitely wait and watch on that.
So you spoke about Ajit Pawar, so that reminds me of another question that I want to ask you. Leader of opposition and Congress leader Vijay Vattitikar has said that first he made a comment that soon there will be a day when Ajit Pawar has been asked by PM Modi that he has to bring in Sharad Pawar to the NDA fold, and then he will get the chief minister's share. So soon it will there will be a day when that would happen, because he has said that they are not satisfied. BJP is not satisfied by breaking the Shiv Sena and the NCP, so they want to bring in Mr. Sharad Pawar. Also, Chandrasekhar Bawankule also said something similar. Like he said, there would be one day when Mr. Sharad Pawar would. He said in a very different context. He said he would appreciate the leadership of Prime Minister Modi, just like what Ajit Pawar did, and he would join the NDA. So these comments, how do you see these comments as? Because there's another meeting of India that is going to happen. So in Mumbai, that is going to happen. So how will these comments affect the India alliance meeting that is going to take place?
Shashank, there has been definitely a kind of a restlessness, confusion which is growing among the, as far as Maharashtra is concerned, the Mahavikas Aghadi partners, that is particularly NCP, Shiv Sena, Uddhav Thackeray, and Congress. What is going to be the stand of Sharad Pawar when it comes to supporting BJP at the center level or the state level? But that, this thing, so-called controversy or the debate, I strongly feel should end here, as Mr. Pawar has candidly made it clear at the recent beat rally that I will not join hands with BJP. Those who have gone should show some kind of a humility, because of whom they have grown up in the political circle and political life. I don't have to do anything with the BJP. Neither I am having a kind of a direct arrangement or an indirect arrangement. So I think that matter, it seems to be over, because both Nana Patole of the state Congress chief as well as Sanjay Raut, who had initially criticized Mr. Sharad Pawar for his so-called secret meeting with his nephew, a deserted nephew Ajit Pawar last Sunday. why he is meeting him. It is creating a kind of a confusion among the party rank and file, and as well as among the MVA also. But as Mr. Pawar has candidly made it clear that he has nothing to do with BJP, I don't think. And as when you talked about that Vadati one, Mr. Pawar has just flatly ridiculed that comment, saying that no kind of an offer has been made to me by Ajit Pawar. There was one news also which was floated in few sections of a certain section of press that Mr. Pawar was offered. I mean, the offer from BJP was given at the behest of Ajit Pawar was कि Mr. Pawar will be given union cabinet ministerial berth by giving his choice of that agriculture ministry as well as vice chairman of Niti Aayog. Both have been, he said these are all fake news, planted news, and there has been no truth in that. That's what Mr. Pawar has clarified. So, I don't think now that discussion should go on this kind of a scenario at this point in time, because Pawar is very clear. He is going to continue with the anti-BJP plank, and he is going to be definitely one of the mobilizers of India. Just to tell you one more thing, Mr. Pawar has already addressed a rally in Yeola, which used to be the hub of Chhagan Bhujbal, an OBC leader, one of the earlier confidants of Mr. Pawar. Secondly, he addressed a meeting in Bid, which has been, being recognized, or maybe because of Dhananjay Munde, who has last time defeated Gopinath Munde's daughter in Parli constituency, and that's how he became the district guardian minister, and he had created his own cloud. But he also again addressed a meeting there, made it very clear that he is ready to take on those who have deserted him. At the same time, he is going to fight head on with the BJP. Next, on 25th, he is going to address in his home city or home district, Pune. That is likely to be on 25th or 26th. And then, again, on 4th of September, he is going to address a rally in Jalgaon, which comes in North Maharashtra. So, Shashank, to put in the right perspective, he has already ruled out a possibility of joining hands directly or indirectly, supporting, directly or indirectly, or having kind of an sympathetic towards BJP. He has candidly denied that, ruled out, rejected that possibility. That's why, even Nana Patole has clearly said we have now confidence that Pawar will continue to be with her. Same thing Mr. Sanjay Raut has said, that he is like a Bhishma Pitamaha of the Indian politics. And I think, there won't be any kind of a second opinion about he remaining with India. So I think at this point in time, Pawar will continue to step up his attack on BJP, both in state as well as at the center level. So there is no question of Ajit Pawar again making kind of a rapprochement up, this thing. I'll just tell you one inside information. I was speaking to one of the ministers who earlier used to be very close confidant and a blue-eyed bird of Mr. Sharad Pawar, who had joined hands with Ajit Pawar to join this government. He had made an offer, and then at an emotional and personal level, why, sir, you are remaining on the other side. Why can't you join us and all? He said, yes, I will join you, but at one condition, just cut your links with BJP. So the message was very loud and clear. At this point in time, Sharad Pawar is not at all in a mood to join hands with the BJP. Neither he is also going to have pardon his nephew who has joined there along with whatever that 43 legislators that he claims. So at this point in time, Pawar is definitely interested to step up attack and in a fighting mood.
Sir, Mr. Vatetiwar, leader of opposition, has today also said that there will be soon a change uh, in the CM's chair. Like he has said, there won't be a change in the government, but there would be a change in the CM's chair. So he's not directly named anybody, but there are also rumors of a cold war between Mr. Shinde and Mr. Ajit Pawar. So don't you think that there is continuous uncertainty, which is end of the day, it is affecting the administration of the state, and which is end of the day affecting the common man.
Shashank,
So,
it has already affected. Unfortunately, within this so-called Mahayuti government, couple of legislators and some of the ministers informally, while having a chat, clearly said we are passing through a PR disaster. Secondly, there is no presence which is being felt of this government. That's the feedback that they are getting. And thirdly, because of the Mahayuti government, everybody is interested in one-upmanship, to have a credit. as they are seeing that the Lok Sabha elections are about there after 8 months, and after that there will be assembly elections in Maharashtra. So as you rightly said, there is definitely a kind of a growing trust deficit among the three partners. At the same time, as the chief minister is no doubt, I mean, he is a true Shivsenik. What you must have experienced and seen after that Kashalwadi incident and that major landslide, he went, he, I mean, not just waited there, he climbed that hilltop and to sort it that all the help is reached to the victims and the families of the deceased in that tragedy. So he is right now in a position, as a true Shivsenik. He wanted to spread his party wings, but unfortunately, he's not getting the due results. But at the same time, he is unable to show his, weight in this government as a chief minister. So obviously, Mr. Fadnavis, who had remained as a 5-year chief minister, my God, I mean, the what should I say, the weight that he was carrying within the party and the grip which he had in the government after his demotion, unfortunately, he is also keeping a low profile, but at the same time showing his mark in the administration and governance. But he knows that because of this alliance government, he is unable to assert. At the same time, Ajit Pawar, known as an able administrator, having grip on the administration and bureaucracy, looking at all those, I mean, the readers and viewers may be aware, this is the 5th time Ajit Pawar has taken over as a deputy chief minister, which has no constitutional validity, no status, but as a political arrangement, deputy chief minister is like next to the chief minister. So he's enjoying that. But he's not, keeping quiet. As a finance minister, he is definitely a major minister in this Mahayuti government. So what he is doing, and that is again a problem within the Mahayuti, is that even though there is a war room which is under the chief minister, which has been set up basically to have a monitoring as well as a review of all the major infrastructure projects as well as all the necessary projects with developmental projects which are going on at the state in the state. So that is there. But what Mr. Ajit Pawar has started doing is that he also has got one of what is known as a project management unit. Being a finance minister, he has got every liberty and power to review, to seek discussions and deliberations with the bureaucrats of the concerned departments and take a stock of the scenario. So first meeting he did was basically about reviewing all the infrastructure and developmental projects in and around Pune, which is his home district. And yesterday, he chaired a meeting about Mitra, which is what is known as an advisory body, which has been formed at the initiative or with the initiative of Eknath Shinde and his son Shrikant Shinde, who is a MP from Kalyan, to set up this advisory body on the lines of Niti Ayog. So again the issue of how Maharashtra can become a $1 trillion economy, and if Maharashtra really achieve that, it will definitely help the country to achieve the $5 trillion economy. So there is definitely an internal clash which is on. But at this point in time, none of the parties can afford, in fact, to publicly air their differences or create a scenario wherein they can give a handle for opposition to target them. So at this point in time, three parties are compelled to remain together for the survival of the government. At the same time, each of them, like Mr. Shinde, will try to, make every effort to try to assert himself as well as create a scenario wherein he is the boss and he is ultimately a boss. Secondly, Devendra Fadnavis, after demotion, he is definitely eyeing the chief minister's post, but ultimately it all depends on what his party bosses do. And thirdly, Ajit Pawar has never hidden his ambition to become the chief minister of Maharashtra. So he will use all the possible power that he has got and the department he has got, the finance and planning, to see that how he can nurture all the necessary his supporters and also create a scenario wherein he will be in a position basically to command and not in a position again to accept as a deputy chief minister if at all the next Mahayuti government comes to power. So at this point in time, three parties, they are interested just to have this government going, but at the same time, each of them are nurturing their own ambitions and will try to see that how they are fulfilled But at this point in time, they are not interested for what we call as a tug of war. But I think as a journalist, we'll have to keep a close vigil on their developments.
So can there be another change in guard before the Lok Sabha elections on the Maharashtra Chief Minister's chair?
What I can discuss,
Is there is there a
unofficially, yeah,
possibility?
informally or off the record with all the three parties, nobody is of the view that there will be a change in the government or change in the leadership, in fact. But a section of some of these, I will not name any party, but within NCP or Congress, they are not sure what will happen to Eknath Shinde. And like you must have heard yesterday, the disgruntled legislator who has missed the board or cabinet ministerial berth, that
Bharat
is Bharat
Gogale.
Gogale from Raigad, he said CM should be aware that only because of them, that those 39 legislators and 10 independents, he could make it to the chief minister's post. So he should not just go on, neglecting them. What it shows, this is a bizarre statement. This has put in the chief minister in a very embarrassing scenario. So I still feel that the chief minister definitely enjoys blessings from the Mahashakti, that is BJP's top bosses. So at least at this point, I don't think there will be any kind of a change of guard. But as always, we can say in politics everything is possible, and anywhere, anytime. That anytime and anywhere, what it can happen or evolve into a scenario that we'll have to keep a watch on that.
Sanjay sir, my last question to you. Soon there will be Lok Sabha elections. Maharashtra is the second largest in terms of constituencies, 48 seats. Now, three parties on both the sides, you can say Shiv Sena in the ruling, Shiv Sena in the opposition, NCP in the ruling, NCP in the opposition, and BJP and Congress, the national party. 48 seats. Last time there was United Shiv Sena, which fought 23 seats and they won 18 out of it. So this time, what do you think? How much would Shinde led Shiv Sena get? And obviously, the vice versa, the Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi Shiv Sena, that is the Uddhav
You
Thackeray
know,
led Shiv Sena, would fight
once
on.
when we discuss this issue, let's first start with that BJP's Mission 45 plus. It is
Hmm.
BJP which has among these parties, three parties have already taken a huge kind of a lead. They have already set up their party observers in all 40th constituency. They have already started working on that. They have also stepped up, reach out to the voters at the level of booths. Just to tell you, the readers and viewers, there are close to 1 lakh booths across Maharashtra, of which about 12,500 are in Mumbai alone. You may not be aware of that. So BJP has already reached out to that level. Very interestingly, BJP is interested, and just to tell you again, just 2 days before, Chandrasekhar Pawar, who has completed 1 year in his office as a state BJP unit, has said that he is going to now soon launch his, what is called a yatra in 28 Lok Sabha seats. Why 28? Nobody knows that. At the same time, there was a talk that Ajit Pawar led NCP may, stake claim over about 10 to 13 Lok Sabha. So that comes to how much? 41. So remaining what? 7 to 8 goes to Shinde. One of the ministers, that is Tanaji Savan, who is health minister, recently has said that nothing doing. Shiv Sena led by Eknath Shinde will definitely stake claim over 18 seats. Means what he is recalling that what Uddhav Thackeray led or the combined Shiv Sena had won in the last Lok Sabha election. So it is ultimately to be seen who will grab the seats, what will be the negotiations that will go into, and ultimately, undoubtedly, BJP will have a major say in that. There is once this thing kind of a buzz which is also on. If Eknath led Shinde group, those who are aspirant are not sure about getting elected, so there is a possibility that they may be fielded on a BJP symbol or a BJP ticket. That is also an angle that will have to be looked into. So ultimately, right now, three parties are working in what they call
No, no,
not openly
Sanjay sir.
or not, yeah, not
Sorry
entered
to
into
interrupt
any.
you. You said that some of the Shinde Shiv Sena members would fight on a BJP ticket. So can you elaborate a bit
Shielded.
on that?
Yeah. So Shinde, this is the discussion which is happening in the Shinde faction, to whom I have been speaking to a couple of, their legislators and the former MPs and the sitting MPs. Nobody's sure about their fate, because right now they are going to stake claim. That's what they are saying internally about on an 18 seats. But whether BJP will be so, lenient, or BJP will be definitely, what we can say, prepared to give so many seats, as they have to achieve that 48 out of that 45 plus mission. I mean, that's a question mark which is being discussed within the BJP and within the Shinde group also. So that's what I'm saying. One of the possibilities is that some of the Shinde, this thing faction members may be given a ticket on a BJP symbol, and they will be fielded in the Lok Sabha seat. But we'll have to discuss, internally, and we'll have to watch whether this will be a reality or what will happen, because still that, what we can say, stage has yet to come. No discussion has taken place so far. But one thing we must admire and we must take a note is that BJP is already on an election mode, and they have already announced that they will continue to step up their exercise, so that they will be ultimately able to reach the cross sections and a large number of voters.
I think that sums it all, Sanjay sir. Thank you for joining. So, viewers, this was Sanjay Jog, political analyst, senior journalist. We are going to keep you posted on updates in Maharashtra politics. But for that, you have to subscribe to HW News English.
Thank you.